Welcome. Today, we are going to dive into the fundamentals of object-oriented programming, or OOP. We will focus on two core concepts, classes and objects, and we will be using Python to illustrate these ideas. So, what exactly is object-oriented programming? Think of it as a way of organizing your code to model real-world things. In OOP, we create objects that contain both data, like a person's name or age, and functions, like the ability to walk or talk. This makes our code more structured and easier to understand. The two most important concepts to grasp are classes and objects. A class is a blueprint. For example, you could have a class called car that defines what every car should have, like wheels and a color. An object, on the other hand, is the actual thing you build from that blueprint. So, a red Ferrari or a blue Volkswagen would be two different objects created from the car class. Let's use another analogy. Imagine we have a class called dog. This class would define the general properties of a dog, such as its name, breed, and age. It would also define the actions a dog can perform, like barking or eating. Now, if we create specific dogs, like Buddy the Golden Retriever and Lucy the Poodle, those would be our objects. Each is an instance of the dog class with its own unique characteristics. Here's how you would define that dog class in Python. We use the class keyword followed by the class name. Inside, we have a special function called init, which is the constructor. This function is automatically called when you create a new object. It sets up the initial attributes of the object, like its name and breed. We can also define other functions, called methods like addTrick or bark, which define what a dog object can do. Once we have our dog class, we can create objects or instances from it. Here, we're creating two distinct dog objects, dog1 and dog2. Each object is created by calling the class name as if it were a function, and passing in the required arguments, Buddy and Golden Retriever for the first dog, and Lucy and Poodle for the second. Each object maintains its own separate data. Each object or instance has its own set of attributes. For example, we can add a trick for each dog. When we add rollover to dog1's tricks, it doesn't affect dog2's list of tricks. They are independent. When we call a method like addTrick, the special self variable ensures that the method operates on the specific object it was called on, whether that's dog1 or dog2. You might be wondering why we should use OOP. It offers several key benefits. It promotes modularity, meaning objects are self-contained and easy to manage. It allows for code reusability, so we can avoid writing the same code over and over. This leads to increased productivity and helps us build complex applications that are easier to scale and maintain over time. So, to summarize, classes are the blueprints, and objects are the actual instances you create from those blueprints. Using OOP allows us to model real-world concepts in our code. To continue your journey, I recommend exploring more advanced OOP topics like inheritance and polymorphism, and to practice by building your own classes. Thanks for watching.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.